Happy Monday. This is Tom Healy at United Asset Strategies. With President Trump's rally this weekend officially kicking off the election season, we thought it would be an opportunity to give you all an update. This year is particularly important because we have the presidential re-election. We have about a third of the Senate up for re-election and also the entire House of Representatives. First, with the president, the one metric we look to most is the approval rating. If you look at historically, there's a very high correlation between the presidential's approval rating going into the election and his success in being re-elected. Right now, the president stands, depending on which poll you look at about 42% approval rating, which pushes him in the area of Bush Sr. or Jimmy Carter, both who failed in their re-election attempts. Head-to-head, right now, Biden is at 50% and Trump is at 42%. And even the betting odds, which were in favor of Trump up until about 3 weeks ago, have turned in favor of Biden. But we would note that we're 4 months plus away from the election, so a lot can change in 4+ months. And also there was a very narrow margin of victory in several states. If you look at Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, all of those states were won by Trump by 0.4, 0.2, 0.1%. So again, a very tight election. We think more than usual that whoever Joe Biden picks as his vice presidential candidate will have a bigger impact than normal. As Joe has indicated, he's a transitional or one-term president. So we're watching very closely over the next several weeks to see who that announced vice presidential candidate is. Turning to the Senate, right now the GOP is up. Republicans have a 53-47 majority. But we would look right now at the polls, and there are 5 races where Democrats are leading the Republicans in those states. If the Democrats did win those 5 and held the rest, they would actually take a majority in the Senate as well. Turning to the House, we think it's unlikely that it will change hands. Right now it's in Democratic control. We look to the generic ballot, which just asks, do you prefer your Republican or Democrat in your market? And right now the Democrats have a +9 favorability rating, which is very high and suggests that they will retain the majority in the House. Now, if the president loses and the Senate changes hands to Democrats, and we have a sweep for the Democrats, it can have big implications. First, we look at tax policy. As you know, President Trump lowered corporate tax rates in 2017 fairly significantly. Joe Biden has said one of the first things he's going to do when he gets in office, if he wins, is to raise corporate tax rates. If you get a Democratic sweep, it's very possible that they could do that. Second, we look to regulation. One of the first things President Trump did was lower regulations in the financials area, energy, things like healthcare. If the Democrats sweep and take the Senate, the House, and the White House, you'll see increase in regulation on traditional energy, fossil fuels, things like the financials area, healthcare, drug pricing will definitely be impacted. So, these are things we're watching. Again, they'd also push for a major infrastructure package, maybe a liberalization in marijuana. So it does have implications. At this point, we're not taking any specific actions in the portfolios because of the election, just because we're still 4+ months out. Usually until you get into about the 3-month range, until it starts becoming meaningful in terms of the impact on stocks and sectors. So we're watching very closely, but we want to give you a quick primer on the election and where we stand. And if you have any questions, please feel free to call and talk to your relationship manager here at United. Thank you very much.